right, Shalom. First and foremost, give my praise, glory, and honor to Howard, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, That's what the honors and the elders and the apostles bring us home to do well. Peace and blessings to the for 1,000 people that let you on the right thumb. And the scripture that comes to mind today, I'll just go straight to it. A lot of stuff going on in the news, more development. Pardon the noise, there's noise in the background, a lot of destruction going on where I'm at. But this is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven all the proud, yeah, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. All right, so this is a context that I want to highlight because the spirit of the world is of what? Mirth. It's of distraction. And deep down, people know what's going on. They see this place crumbling. All right. Once you can't tell, once a woman can't tell you what a woman is, this place is over with. It's through. Okay. People are not getting the desired results. Okay. They want a man to be manly, but there's no men. They want a nice raise on their job, but they're offering you what, 3%, you know, and hoping you stay. All right. People are wanting healthier lifestyles, but they're offering poison at a premium. Okay, they're charging you money and interest, and so all of these things go over people's heads, and ultimately it comes back down to this day, which the Lord promised. Which I'm gonna read again, Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yeah, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. So the Lord is so infuriated with this place that He's gonna burn up everything. Okay, everything the light touches is gonna be ashes. All right. This is that pillar of smoke that will go up into the heavens forever. All right, which is not literally forever, but you know it's going to be a long time spoken about. Okay, it says, and cometh, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and they shall leave them neither root nor branch. So there's going to be nothing left in this place. All right, so that's the context. And how do we get here? Look at this. Okay, women are claiming that they have no girlfriend and boyfriend because men are all soft. All right, these are symptoms of letting the wicked rule. Okay, as the scriptures say. Okay, that's Proverbs 29. Okay, Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bears rule, the people mourn, and they insist on wicked people ruling. They don't do nothing about it. They don't riot. They'll actually vote for people, but then they'll want a favorable outcome. All right. That's why this place is called Babylon. All right. Which what does Babylon mean? All right. We'll get it in the scriptures. Stay locked in here, okay? And brothers, stay locked in, man. Stay praying. All right, because this is about to turn up. The pressure is about to turn up. I guess I could find anyone. I just want the Hebrew word here, okay? It goes into the word babal. All right, confusion by mixing, okay? And so whenever you want a favorable outcome, but then you're doing the thing that's against your own interest, okay? What do you call that? That's called confusion, okay? A woman they'll want a good man, but then they'll spend their whole 20s running it up, okay? Y'all know what I'm talking about, the carousel, okay? They'll know that their husband don't want that. They'll know that this is going to bring all kind of baggage. They don't care, okay? And so this is illustrative of America at large. Okay, look at the deficit. They think they can just spend money and spend money and spend money, and have their comforts and their conveniences be heightened and heightened and heightened, and there's no recourse. There's no not recourse, but there's no fallout from that. All right, but it is okay. There is a fallout. Okay, there is a consequences of doing things inefficiently. Okay, love is not just love. Okay, you do these things long enough, and then what do you have? STDs, okay, degeneracy, all right, no decency. People are desensitized to sex. You're at the point now, a kid is he's 10, 11 years old, and he's already desensitized to some of the most graphic things on the internet, man. And y'all should know what I'm talking about. Okay. Whereas back in the ancient world, man, you had to use a lot more imagination, and there was something about that too, man. Okay, you just know she working with something, but you can't see it. And so when you get to the wedding day, anyway, it says women are taking to social media to complain that men are in the soft girl era, and and women have to be the men in relationships, and this is true, okay. And remember, you asked for this, okay. You went out there in March, all right, and showed the booty cheeks everywhere, and let Esau convince you that that was empowering, and now this is the result of it, okay. This is the result of it, okay. What does it say in Jeremiah? Verse 20, 22, Jeremiah 31 and 22. How long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter, for the Lord Yahweh has created a new thing in the earth. All right, a woman shall surpass a man. So feminism has definitely taken on, you know, what it basically this prophecy, this fulfillment of this prophecy right here. Okay, there's another precept I'm thinking of, but it's in my mind. But yeah, children are their oppressor, and the women rule. Okay, hold on to that because this place is completely upside down. Okay, those are the three. It says Isaiah 3:12. It says, "As for my people, all right, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them." All right, and that's basically what you have. Okay, and women do not like not being led. They want all of the benefits of being a leader. They want to call the shots, but they don't want what comes with that. All right, so men being weak, they've abdicated to this. Okay, and now that everything's confused and confounded. All right, and it's gonna get worse. All right. Look at this. EU issued a dire warning to 150 million citizens stockpile supplies and prepare for World War III. Now, I saw a video on this yesterday. I may go a little bit more in depth, but they're basically mocking their own people. They did a video telling you what to do in the event of nuclear war or fallout, and it's a video about what to do for the next 72 hours. I believe the Jimmy Dore show reacted to this. All right. He said, "This is what you do for the next 72 hours, and then you kill your neighbor." Because they acting like it's just gonna be 3 days, okay? The nukes are gonna fly. They're like, stay away from windows, and then come back. And that's a mockery, man. All right. And by the way, it ain't just gonna one nuke gonna fly. That's impossible. Okay. That's impossible for one nuke to fly. That's what the MAD is about. Mutually assured destruction. That's what it's about. The missiles automatically fire when they detect another one fire. Okay, that's how it works. That's why all of the nukes are going to be emptied out. Okay, but the angels are gonna designate where these things land. Okay, and America is going to be completely wiped out by these things. This is what Malachi 4 was talking about. Okay, which I'll go back to it again. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and that's a lot of you people that are complaining. All right, you're complaining about. You don't care about righteousness. You just care that the fruit of wickedness are harming you now. But the fruit of wickedness is evil, man. Okay, that's all you're gonna get out of wickedness, man. Wickedness might offer you a little bit of pleasure on the short end, on the front end, but it always ends in evil. Okay, that is why the Lord is a bias towards righteousness. Okay, But righteousness is often a straight path. And you people don't understand that, right? And why would we expect anything else? You stole everything here, okay? You didn't work. You didn't make trade agreements with the Gadites, okay? The so-called Native Americans, okay? You didn't work hard and build up a city and pull yourself up by the bootstraps. No, you came over here with guns, Gatling guns, false promises, treaties, deception, bio warfare, all right, with a proud ass spirit on you, okay? And you stole everything, and then you were too lazy to work the land you stole, all right? So why should we be shocked that you just expect everything for doing very little? You know, that's the culture of this place, okay? It says, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. It's going to be thorough. When you read the scriptures, they talk about the elements melting, okay, with fervent heat, okay. So look at verse 2. It says, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall, okay. Who is this talking about? An elect remnant, okay. Not 2/3 niggas like Chief Priest, Pegazar, okay? Y'all are gonna be stubble here because you're rebellious. You can't get it. You have the most valuable thing that you could have, which is just being an Israelite. Okay, and then what do you do with it? Okay, you get the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, not completely, but you understand the scriptures to a pretty high degree. And then what do you do with that? Wickedness. Okay, verse 3: and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord Yahweh. Oh, so this is the context. Everything's boiling down to a particular day, okay? Everything is boiling down to it, okay? You can read the rest of that. Matthew to Malachi 4, it speaks about Elijah return, which we believe is our business, okay? This thing is already done what it needed to do. It's just a matter of time, okay? We notice we're in the season right now. We just don't know the day yet, okay? Look, Texas Sheriff's Office loses 4 deputies suicide in past 6 weeks, okay? Look at that. I wonder why. But there's a lot of wickedness going down there in Texas on that border, okay? There's a lot of wickedness going down there, okay? Y'all think the island over there of Jeffrey, okay, over there in the Bahamas area, y'all think that that's where all the wickedness was. Look over there. That's Esau's plan. Look over there. It's overseas. No, it's right here, okay? You can't leave your kids outside, man. You can't leave your doors unlocked. All right, you can't even let your kid wander around the grocery store without you, man. All right, like your parents used to do. You know, your mother's looking for something in the store, and then you want to go over there on the toy aisle. You know, that's how I was when I was a kid. I want to go over there to the toy aisle, look at the toys. You know, or my mother's getting groceries and things. You can't do that no more, man. Your kid, somebody will snatch your little ass up, okay, in the grocery store, gone. You know, and so this is part of it. All right, let me go back here. What was going to happen before the Lord hit this place? Isaiah 24:1. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. And there's a lot of scattered people coming over across these borders. Okay, and that's not a good sign. This is a sign of despair. All right, America is about to fall right into a deep recession or depression. All right, and there's going to be a lot more mouths to feed this time. Okay, they don't have paperwork, but they're here. Okay, this is not going to be like 2008. When this shit pop, it's not going to be like 2008. Okay, back then they were doing a study on it. They were saying that people back then they lost their jobs in 2008. You know, back then because of the price of apartments and whatnot, they were able to downsize to a 1 bedroom and work at McDonald's or something. work a couple jobs and get by, put their stuff in storage and work. But now you can't do that, man. McDonald's is not paying anywhere near to pay for this rent, okay? But they're charging more in their price. Did they pass that down in the pay of the people? No, they did not. So the workers, they're going to get paid less while they're charging for more for food. I believe Henry Ford said that quote, which is why Amalek came against him. He said a society that can't pay, that can't afford the products that it makes is doomed. Okay, and that's what he was doing with the assembly line with the Ford. Okay, the Model T. He was making it. He was making the pay of the people on par where they can afford one of those vehicles. Okay, but you got to realize that they've they've come to their senses and found out that that's a liability along with critical thinking and everything else. Okay, man being out of household, these are threats to the wicked. Okay, but anyway, going back, skipping down to verse 3, the land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled, for the Lord Yahweh has spoken this word. Okay, that's Isaiah 24 and 3. The earth mourneth, verse 4, the earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away. The hardy people of the earth do languish. All right? So this is a precursor to what's getting ready to happen. And when you skip down, okay, it speaks about the despair of this place, okay? How desolate and sad it's going to get before the Lord finishes this place off, okay? See, yeah, verse 18 it says, and it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the spear shall fall into the pit, all right? And he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare, okay? So this is going to be just like we spoke about in Amos, the day of the Lord is going to be as a man fled from a lion, the bear met him, the snake bit him, all right? The mischief upon mischief. That's how it's going to be. You're going to come out. You're going to make it out of one scenario, out of a pit, and you're going to fall into a snare. Okay, you're going to get out of the snare, and then what's going to happen? It says, "For the windows from on high are open to do what?" So you get out of the pit. You might get out of 4 or 5 jams. Okay, you avoid the sword. You avoid the famine. All right, you're through. You know. But then the windows open up to do what? It says, and the foundations of the earth do shake. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean, dissolved. All right. The earth moved exceedingly. All right. And this goes back into Malachi, man, where it said, nor a root nor a branch is going to be left. It's going to be clean, dissolved. Okay. That's the element melting. Okay. That's how hot it's going to be. What could cause this across the entirety of America? Okay. Verse 20, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be moved like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. All right? So once this place is down, it's down. All right? So you should know what time it is at this point. You know? So suicides are gonna I think they're the leading cause of death for men now. Suicide. You know? That just shows you this place is wicked, you know. Look, over 100 million exposed to deadly forever chemicals in tap water. Man, we gotta pray. We gotta get out of here, okay? And take good heed of your health and your lifestyle choices, man. All right? He's turning this shit up, man. He's not seeing the results. I get the feeling he's not seeing the results he wants. And people drop it dead. Okay? Everything's all messed up, all right? You had that earthquake, which I hadn't done the lesson on, but I saw some video on that, and that don't put the fear of the Lord in you. I don't know what will. Okay, these people on top of these big ass high rise buildings, and they motherfuckers start wobbling. All right, it was like a reed shaking in the wind, you know. So these are dangerous times we're coming into. Lord willing, our sacrifice is accepted. And ultimately, we have to have the confidence that it is, because what else is it going to do? Okay, we're through. Okay, there's nothing else you can do. All right, if the Lord doesn't accept you, then you're going to get caught up in all of this, man. So we have no other recourse. All right, we have to fight the good fight of faith. We have to press toward the mark of perfection, doing everything that we can, because we can see the time. Last precept out in this. Okay, we're not like other men. Okay, we supposed to see this, man, and not be caught up in the spirit of podcasting and debate, fighting and hoes. All right, First Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. The brethren are the elect. There should be no need for us to remind you of this. You don't have to tell a member of the elect what time it is. Once he hears it, his eyes and his ears are already attentive to what's going on, because that's how the Lord programmed us, right? Spirits that are upright, we have wisdom and discernment intrinsically in us. Okay, so you're not going to catch a member of the elect being down with feminism. Okay, saying that Alazar need to be forgiven and we need to just let it go. All right, no. All right, our eyes and ears are on the things that are pertinent. Okay, and not every man that knows he's an Israelite has this. Okay, there's going to be men that know that the day of the Lord is coming, and they don't do anything. They don't prepare themselves for it, man. And I'm talking about spiritually, mentally. Okay. Verse 3, it says, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. All right, and that should terrify you. It says, but ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. All right, so be a part of that number. You know, with that, I'll end it there. Lord willing, it's edifying unto the